I've heard many people ask the question of whether or not YouTube is luck or skill, and I decided that maybe I should come in and speak to that as a person with no experience on YouTube. If you search it up, is YouTube luck or skill on the platform, then you'll find multiple videos where people are making like secret YouTube channels. So basically, someone who already has been on the platform for some amount of time makes a brand new channel as if they have no experience and they just don't use their face or something like that. The one that stood out to me the most is Ludwig's video of I made a secret YouTube channel to prove it's not luck. And in the video, you'll see that he gets almost 12,000 views and 156 subscribers off of just that video, and of course a bunch of watch time too. I thought that was really interesting because it's like that's just not what someone's first video is going to look like if they have no experience. Of course, it's a lot easier to get more views when you have experience. And in his case, he actually pays an editor to do the job that he would have done. And he argues that he didn't have the time to do it, but in theory, the person who's doing it would. Like if I was making my own channel, I just would have the time and instead of having to pay someone. And my thing is, well, all of that is wrong and really just does understate the question of whether it is luck or skill, which I think in itself is already a misguided question. And here's how I'll put it. I made my channel, Just a Sack, on January 15, 2025. And in that time, I was able to accrue 25 subscribers by making 47 videos, of which 9 were shorts and 38 were um, long videos. And the thing was that that my first video was Spyro, and in Spyro I just didn't know what I was doing. And that's part of the problem. It's like you're coming onto YouTube with no experience. You don't know what works. Even if I've watched it for a very long time. I didn't know what people would actually want to watch. So I just kind of did what made sense to me, which is playing a game and just letting people see me play the game. In the video, you just see me walk around as Spyro. And I got, because for that, I get 19 views and 1 hour of watch time. And the point is, like, of course, I only got 19 views. That's because I really didn't know what I was doing. And my thing is, it's like, naturally, that's what I would expect from anyone making one of these videos. The other thing that I've done is my most viewed video, 211 views. I got 4 subscribers off of that, and people watch it for up to 6 hours. And my thing is that video itself took me 2 weeks to make. 2 weeks where I was, either worried about my full-time job or pretty much had to push anything else that wasn't that to the side because I don't have time to just be editing. So I had to make time. I have to push things to the side that are important to me, which then leads me back to the question of, is YouTube luck or skill? And in the 3 months that I've been uploading for 3 videos a week, for me it was pretty obvious it's more than just skill or luck. And first of all, like if you're asking if it's one or the other, I would argue it's probably both, right? It's going to be some level of skill. The better you are at editing or making thumbnails or just understanding what people want to see, the more likely you are to get people to click on your videos. But that doesn't mean you always have control over why people are clicking over your videos or what people actually want to see. Like a trending topic, that's not up to you. So in some way, that's, I guess, luck. But I think what's more important is like, as a beginner, as someone who has no experience, that is probably 2 things that I'm not worried about yet. And the reason why is because I need time to even bother with those things. And for me, that's the key ingredient that I've been noticing I don't have, or at least it feels like so finite whenever I am actually trying to put out a video. And I'll break this into 3 groups: short term, long term, medium term. I think time is relevant in all, forms. for this conversation, because when you're talking about the short term, obviously you're just talking about the concept of I don't have time to record, edit, and then market my videos. So, thumbnails or making sure that it's getting views, I don't have time for that. But then I'm also just talking about the simple concept of, in the medium term, just having time to experiment, time to explore what works, time to engage an audience, and for what I noticed, for example, my first video probably got like up to like 300 impressions, but as I started getting further and further into the process and engaged more and more audience members, the YouTube started building me more into the algorithm and started giving me more of an opportunity to engage with people who might have been interested in my content. Uh, Again, something that can't happen if I just simply, only aim for that one good video, but like I just need some, months to at least figure out like what is the content that I want, and then what is the content that the algorithm wants, and then it's kind of works. We kind of have to learn to work together, I guess, in that sense. And then the last thing that I would take into account is the long term, right? And so in the long term, what I really want to like spell out, because I know people say it, but I really think it's understated as well, which is just the concept of you're not doing this like for 1 month, 2 months. You're not just trying to hit the viral video. You're doing this for like a year at least to see if this is even realistic. Because I'm telling you right now, when I do this, I don't do it as like, oh, this is gonna be my future. This is gonna be my profession. Like, if right now, it's just that feels like fantasy, and that's okay. The reason why I'm putting the time in then is to just kind of see where it can go, like what it's worth to me. And unfortunately, in order to understand if it is worth my time, I actually have to give it my time. And for me, that looks like probably having to be consistent, at least to some degree, over a year. Can I do that realistically at the rate I've been doing it, 3 videos per week? Absolutely not. In fact, I feel that those weeks that I was doing that felt horrible, because if there was something that was coming up that wasn't normally part of my schedule, then it just didn't fit in well, and that caused me even more stress. Compare that to then me having to do that over a year, and it's like, realistically speaking, that's just going to be very painful for me. And I'd rather not have to do this over a year, if that's going to be the case. And so when I realize that this is a battle over a year, then really I have to like pace myself and figure out a schedule that works for me. And if not, then my videos will just kind of die out, and no one will care. No matter how good of a video I make last, no one will care in the end, because YouTube will stop showing me to people once my video is like 2 weeks old. In summary, YouTube is more than just luck or skill. It's time. And if you have no experience, I hope you understand. Like, I'm there with you, and I totally get that. And it's rough, but I think you just kind of keep going. You learn, you figure out what works, and you appreciate their journey. And if you appreciated this video, subscribe or let me know what you think. And if not, subscribe anyway. And I'll see you around. Bye bye. Here's where hovering is really important. Just gonna try. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how to hover. Oh, this is doomed gameplay. This is the hardest game of my life. I don't remember how to hover. What's happening? Do I just not have the ability to hover? Alright, I'm gonna try one more time. If I can't find the button. This is embarrassing.